guys? Welcome back to our Linkage Love platform. We are here for another Linkage Wellness workshop, and tonight we'll be starting off our Linkage Wellness chat series with me, my vice president, and also my secretary of the Linkage Wellness Institute Board of Directors. We're going to come on every Friday and we're going to just discuss women, wellness, the world, things that are going on, anything that comes to mind. It's not really something that we have like a set, we're going to talk about this, we're going to talk about that. We'll have like some topics that we want to discuss, but the conversations can go everywhere. Like tonight's episode, we will be focusing on talking about a new community of conversations. I feel like it's very important on our wellness journey to be overall in a good state of health, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and socially. Socially is so important. Like, it's very important for us to communicate with others, to connect with others, to link with others. This is why I started Linkage Beauty Movement initially. I started it because I wanted us to all connect. I wanted us to all be able to link with each other and talk about things that, we all are going through. We all have different forms of breast cancer or different illnesses on our wellness journey, and we all share some similarities, or we share, hey Juanita, we
Hey.
share a lot of things, similar. So hi, introduce yourself. I was just talking a little bit, you know how I do.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Welcome, everyone. I am Juanita Beltran. I am part of Linkage Wellness Institute. Vonti and I have known each other for many, many years. We're both cancer. I'm a cancer survivor, and she is a continuing cancer fighter. Um, we started on this journey because of our stories, our history together.
Yeah.
And I followed suit because she has motivated me with her dream, her goals, and what she wants Linkage Wellness to be. And I want to be 1,000% a part of that.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much. And everybody, Juanita's going to call me Avanti or Avante. That is actually my middle name. And that is what I was going by for like half of my life, because I do not like my first name. It was either Vontae or Mimi. And so Juanita has always stuck with that. So when you hear her say that, don't think she's talking to anyone else. She's talking to me. And so we are waiting for Janine to join us. I see that she's here, but you have to send in a request to join us, sis, so we can get you on here as well. And so basically, I was explaining to everybody, Juanita, that we're going to come on Fridays, and we're just going to be relaxed and chill, and we're going to talk about things that have to do with women, wellness, and things that's going on in the world.
Right.
And that could be anything. We're not going to have like every time set topics and all of that, but it will be the gist of that, because I feel like it's very important. I want to talk about all the things that we go through, not just things that have to do with our like health and like going to doctor's appointments every day and doctors and nurses and medications and all of that. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like we're already overwhelmed with that. Let's start focusing on the outside of that and how we move forward and how we, get things moving. Let's see what's going on. It says it's not letting me send the request. Oh no. I'm not sure what's happening with Janine being able to join us,
Mm-hmm.
but we're going to see. I would just say kind of refresh and then try to come back in and see if you can join the live that way. I'm not, I'm just learning here with all this, and I'm
Right.
not sure how this goes, but I'm going to put the link down here in the comments, and hopefully you'll be able to copy that link and see if you can join that way. I'm not sure, but let's see. We're all learning together.
Right.
Right?
Right.
We're learning together. So for anybody who doesn't know, I'm Mimi Frazier, and I started my cancer journey actually in 2015, and I started Linkage Beauty Movement in 2019. And that was basically created to embrace, empower, and encourage my sisters, because I had gotten so much love once I decided to come out of my shell and put myself out there because I wanted to gravitate to a community. You know, when you don't know what to do when you're diagnosed, it's very hard to kind of find your place. And so I found my place very quickly, on Facebook and on Instagram, and that's basically how things were born. And so Linkage Beauty Movement is still active and thriving, but we just turned everything into Linkage Love so we can just have one platform where we can share in all of that.
Right.
Linkage Beauty Movement, our social media platform, we still do showcases. We still do linkage care boxes. We still do our awards that we give out every month, the Linkage Award of Excellence to women who not only are survivors, but also entrepreneurs, scholars, business owners doing big things and making an impact, a positive impact on the world. So we want to always make sure that we focus on that and we focus on the goodness of it all, because cancer and illness can be a Debbie Downer. You know what I mean?
Amen.
So it's like we need to find other things to kind of talk about and be a part of, because I feel like that's very important. So let me ask you, Juanita,
Hmm.
what does wellness mean to you?
I think for me, I think I'm learning that it's more of a mental uh, thing for me, because you know our
Hmm.
history. I want to be a superwoman and just go get it done. But
Yeah,
now, cancer adds on these other health issues, and I'm learning, okay, I need to get my mental health in check so I can take care of the outer shell that is this body that God gave
exactly.
us.
Yeah.
Um, and
OMG.
for me, that's where I'm at with what wellness means to me. Just the mental health part of
Yeah.
it, keeping
Yeah.
my keeping it in here in check so I can take care of the outside.
Because that's very
And I had to
important,
learn that. I had to learn that
because
because
it doesn't happen overnight.
exactly,
You don't, no, it doesn't click. You have to kind of pace it. It's something that happens gradually.
exactly.
Hi,
Hi,
Janine.
I'm finally in. It took forever.
Hi.
I'm like, why does it keep rejecting my request?
It's okay. It's okay. I had to send it to you, I guess. So like I said, we're learning as we go along. So when we do this, I guess I have to send it. And it was like at the bottom of the screen. So please bear with me.
It's
I'm learning all this as we go along, okay? So introduce yourself, let us know who you are and everything.
well, hello. I am Janine. I am a breast cancer survivor. I just actually finished up my TMBC battle, my second one. So I
Congratulations.
am still here, thank God. Thank you.
Yeah.
I actually have watched Mimi for a while. I loved your post, and reading your story was just
Thank
very
you.
inspirational. And so when you asked me to come to the board, I said, yeah, like no brainer. Um,
Yes.
I
You were very receptive. I was so
I
happy.
I just, I like to be able to connect with like-minded women, and women's health and wellness overall, not just, breast cancer is all just so important. And, learning how to listen to our bodies, learning how our bodies speak to us, all those things are so important. And again, for me, it's just being able to engage and interact with more flatties.
Yeah.
It's hard to be a flatty, and
Yeah.
so that just connecting with women who understand
Yeah.
um, is an amazing thing. So I am very proud and happy to be a part of this amazing movement.
Thank you so much. You guys are both superstars, and I love you both, and I'm so honored and appreciative to have you both on board. Juanita is our vice president and Janine is our secretary, and I'm just so ecstatic just to have their support and their skill, their knowledge, their awareness, and the overall care of what we're doing and what we're trying to bring to the community. And so I just asked Juanita, and I've asked you guys this before. I actually had a campaign and you guys both participated when I said, what does wellness mean to you? But I feel like it could change. You know what I mean? Like, we can always think that it means one thing, but we go through certain things in life. And so what at this chat on this chapter of your journey, what does wellness mean to you right now, Janine?
Um, well, to me, it's changed overall because wellness does not have just one facet. There are multiple facets of wellness. It's your mental, wellness, your physical, your emotional, your social. I mean, there are so many forms. And I think that sometimes we forget that there are so many layers to us and we
Yeah.
focus simply on the layer that we can
Yeah.
see, not the layer that we can't see. But I think that sometimes we also tend to forget that our body does speak to us. When we feel depressed, okay, something's missing. My emotional well-being is taking a hit. What do I need to do to get back into a space of balance? And I think for me, just in my own perception, is just, to me, wellness is balance. It's
Yeah.
balance with every aspect and every layer of who you
Yeah.
are. And when
Yes.
one layer, isn't balanced or has that imbalance, it affects all the layers.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's, to me, I think wellness is all of our capacities in harmony, in one, kind of working together.
Yeah. What I've noticed, like, on at the start of my journey, like, I focused mostly, of course, on my health and like the physical part of it, but I left the mental and the emotional and the social part kind of just like lagging. And once I picked up on the mental, like, I started to go to therapy back in maybe like 2021 or so. And I started like doing active things to kind of get my spirit back in place and get myself back in order. But even focusing on all those things, I left the social part out. So that's why I'm pushing myself to even do this type of thing, because I feel like I have it inside of me. I want to do it. I want to talk about things. I want to engage more with my community, because I'm always behind the scenes doing things. I'm always like shuffling behind the scenes, developing and creating things. But I want to be more in tune with people again on social media and online, and letting people know that, hey, we are still here. I might not be online as much as I used to be vocally, but I'm going to change that now. We're going to, do this. And I just want to make it a safe space for people to, if they don't want to engage with us, to actually listen to what we're saying and maybe learn something from it and gain something from it, every time that we have a topic or something that we discuss. So another thing that's really important for me with the wellness chat also is just us being committed and doing it, because it's not we're not going to be on here talking to you guys to death for an hour or two. We just want to come on real quick and just let you guys know that we're here, that we're in tune with each other, and we're in tune with you, and how you can be in tune with us, and the certain things that are going on that we're going to discuss, and just to allow you a space to engage or to listen. That's basically what's important to me. So, Janine, like, what do you feel will come out of us doing this wellness chat?
Um, like you said, more so having that safe
Yeah.
space. And again, not just sitting here and talking, to death,
Yeah.
allowing viewers to engage, allowing
Yeah.
them to ask questions, because we don't have all the answers. I think that when, and I think I shared this with you before, but I love when, I'm sitting at a table with other survivors
Yeah.
and they're talking about their experiences. And although the experiences are so different,
Yeah.
they are all sometimes so similar,
Exactly.
and I find it amazing that we think that we're the only ones that are going through something, but we're
Mm.
not. We're just going through it differently. And I
Yes.
think that this platform will offer other perspectives, shared perspectives, and to see, how this person is navigating one thing, or how that other person is navigating one thing. Because, when we bring all those heads together, we get resolutions, we get
Yeah.
suggestions, we get advice, we get all these things to help us along our way. So I think that would come from it the most.
Yeah. Juanita, what do you think? What are your thoughts on us doing this wellness chat?
I think it's important just for, as you know my history too. I'm a three-time cancer survivor.
Oh
Yes.
my goodness.
And right now I'm still going through the advocacy part of stuff that I
Yeah.
need. And so the journey never ends.
No.
You need that open space where you can say, "Hey, I'm going through this. What would you do different, or
Exactly.
what do you suggest that I do?"
Yeah.
And you've been awesome with me about that, because even though we're in the middle of our journey, we still go through stuff. We still have bad days where we just want to be mad, we want to cry, we want to fuss. And it's funny that you say that, because I was talking to you a little bit earlier about what I've been going
Yeah.
through, and I was so worried. But God reminds us, okay, give me the worry.
Exactly.
and
Mm-hmm.
and I was just so, and I just got an email before I got on with you that I was worried about my
Yeah.
insurance, and I was worried about my job not accepting me going over to that insurance. And I got a letter, an email saying that I could sign up
See what I'm saying?
effective May 1st.
We just got to stay positive. We
Yeah.
got to stay positive.
So
Staying positive and being open as well. Because if we're not open, because I be on you too. Like,
yeah,
so you guys, even though we are running a full-fledged wellness institute, I still have to run Juanita down and be
yeah,
like, look, we're in this together. Do
Yeah.
not do this. Like,
right.
do not. And then, like, the same for Janine. Janine has been like my angel, like making me like kind of realize things that, you know how you like know things already, but then you have like hearing it from someone else
Oh
and
yeah.
hearing their perspective. It's just like, it'll just enlighten you and make you be like, oh my goodness, like I've been doing it this way this whole time. And it's like, I really don't need to put the pressure on myself, you know? So, but I wouldn't know that unless I'm being open. And so it was very difficult for me to come out of my shell and start communicating and talking. It was easier to like post pictures
Yeah.
Right.
online and like make a little caption and then going about my day, but to actually come on and talk and have the conversations, like I think I do pretty okay, like with interviewing, going on someone's podcast or something as a guest, but I was always so afraid to do it myself. And so I'm just very happy to have you ladies here, just to help me host this thing, because I want women to see that we can do it. Even if you are thinking about doing something like this yourself, you can look at us and see like I'm not, the person that knows all the things. So we're gonna have some glitches. Like last night, oh my goodness, like if you tuned in to the Zumba workshop, we had a couple of glitches there, but we ended up pulling it all together. So, as long as we have patience and, like I said, make the commitment to stay in the game and do this, I feel like everything will be great. So
Right.
And I was going to
you got,
say, oh, I'm
mhm.
sorry. I
No,
just
go
want
ahead.
to say
Go ahead.
I love that Juanita said, advocacy, advocating for yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is a huge thing. I think that this last go round I was more active. Like I was a actual participant in my
Yeah.
healthcare, meaning I'm researching what the doctors tell me. I'm writing down the questions. Once I wrote down the questions, they're giving me their answers. I'm writing down their answers. I'm making informed decisions,
Yes.
because there's like this thing where there's a trust with doctors now,
Yeah.
and that's real. And so
Very true.
I often tell people, you don't have to just take what they say and go with it. You can do your own research first, and I love that my doctors would give me time to research. Of course, cancer you don't have, you gotta like get with it, but they at least gave me the time that I needed to research, digest, so I can make this informed decision.
Yeah.
And I think that it is a collaboration. It is you collaborating with your health team,
Yes.
because I feel like, yeah, the doctors know what they're doing, but you are the head of that team, because it's you being treated, you getting
So
that
true.
care. So
Yes.
you have to put yourself in the forefront of your own health, so that way you don't feel like the doctors are forcing you to take a medicine, forcing you to, do this, or have this surgery, where you're coming from a place of education and knowledge, and you're like, I know what you're saying, I
Yeah.
researched this, and let's have a dialogue about these PARP inhibitors, or
Yeah.
let's have a dialogue about these checkpoint inhibitors, where you're
Yeah.
coming from a place of education.
But another thing with that is that comes over time
Yes,
too.
it does.
Because I will say when you're first diagnosed, you're like slammed with all
Yes,
these things. Like you have this, you
Yeah.
have this, you have to go and do this, you have to go and do that.
it's
Not only do you
overwhelming.
have the doctors telling you things, then you have people on the outside like, no, don't do this, you shouldn't do that. So you're kind of slammed, and you learn over time to start speaking up for yourself. A lot of women do not speak up for themselves. They just say take whatever the doctor say and just continue to move forward. And I learned the hard way. Like I learned when I had like a whole meltdown, it was like I'm not doing treatment anymore. I learned that
Right.
ultimately I'm in control. Like
Yes,
the when you talk about getting a second opinion, like how I think about it in Mimi's world is that the doctors are the first opinion and I'm the second opinion.
exactly. I love
Okay.
where
I'm the second opinion. I'm the person that I'm going to take what you're telling me, and I'm definitely going to listen, and I'm going to take it all and I'm going to receive it. But then I'm going to go and do my due diligence on what is best for me also, because they also sometimes don't know what's best. Like I've kind of had luck in recent months with some better doctors, and I'm more comfortable and they're with them being more honest, because sometimes doctors just want to keep you as a patient. They're just going to keep giving you medication and that's it. If you don't say, hey, well, do I need to get a checkup on this? They're not gonna. So it's very important to get the first and second opinion, and maybe even a third sometime if you're not comfortable. Being open, being vocal is very important. Like the social part of our wellness is what I'm going to be focusing on a lot within our chats, because being vocal is important. We're not going to know anything. Nothing's going to change around us, and that just is not with our doctors. It's like in our lives overall. We
yes,
have to
Yeah.
stand up for
I would
ourselves
say that
overall in our
overall.
relationships, at work, when we go out. Like we have to, we have to protect ourselves, and we have to stand up for ourselves and do it the right way. Especially with the state of the world and things that are going on. It's a lot. So coming up, with our next, episodes, Janine created a series, a structured series for us. And the name of the structured series is From Acceptance to Action. And it's going to be in 3 parts. And we're just going to dive into breast cancer and what actually happens at the beginning stages, and what we all specifically went through and the avenues we took to get where we are now. We're going to have a part 2, which is the starting. We're going to talk about survival, like how we came to, how we're going to survive and how we're going to do this. Because when I was diagnosed with a 30% chance of survival. So I kind of was just like, I'm going to be checking out soon. So I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. But
Mhm.
once I got into treatment, because I could have took from there and been like, you know what? I'm just going to live life and not worry about it. But I was like, I'm going to fight. And once I started fighting, things kind of turned
Yeah.
around. So once you start fighting and you realize how strong you really are, how resilient your body really is, and how you can depend on yourself to get through, you start, I guess, creating your own survival
Yeah.
guide,
Right.
and so we're going to talk a lot about that in the episode part 2. And in the final episode, we're going to just talk about coping mechanisms, like how we cope, how did we cope? Did we cope by joining groups? Did we go to a therapist? Did
Yeah.
we start talking to, what did we start doing? Did we start journaling? Did we start writing a book? Did we start reading more? Like, what are the things that helped us get
I
through?
think for me
Um,
it was therapy, because
for
me,
sure.
I
For
was
sure.
like, I tried to be superwoman in all my day-to-day life, and I was like, I finally sat down and talked to somebody.
Exactly. Like once I finally did that, a lot of things opened up for me, and we're gonna talk a lot about that because
Yeah.
even lately too, a lot of people are just like so negative towards therapy, and I'm not understanding that. Like
No.
that is like
No.
therapy
Right.
is wonderful, it's a wonderful thing, but it's what you make it. A
Right.
lot of people have like a preconceived notion, like, oh, what is this person going to be able to tell me? Just like
Mm-hmm.
we talk to each other, we're each other's therapists, in one way or another. So whether you're talking to an actual doctor or someone, I think is someone close to you, I feel like it's important to get things out.
And I was going to say too, after me myself having been in
Yeah.
therapy for almost 3 years now,
Hmm.
there's this stigma about therapy, right? Like, but
Mm-hmm.
again, that comes from, how our parents were taught and how their parents were taught. It's a
Amen.
long line of history. And think about how Reagan closed all of the mental health centers. So it's always been this stigma
Yeah.
um, around therapy because it was like a sweep under the rug generation.
Yeah.
It didn't happen. We're not going to talk about it, and that's why we have like such an unhealed population. In my own opinion, that's
Mm-hmm.
not a fact, but just my own opinion.
Yeah.
But therapists, honestly, they sit and listen to you, right? But you're doing most of the work.
Yeah.
You have to open up, and being open is really the typical, like, the focal point of therapy.
Yes.
You have to be vulnerable. You have to open up. And of course, you're not going to open up that first session and bear all, but you're building that bond of trust with that therapist, and
Yes.
you're getting a feel for them. But when you do get to open up, you begin to let all these things that are bottled within you out. And I
Yeah.
Yeah,
think that's the
absolutely.
part that is overlooked about therapy, because honestly, the therapists are there kind of like as a guide, but you yourself are doing the work.
Exactly.
You're putting your emotions out there. You're being vulnerable. You're being open. You're letting these people into your world, like literally.
Yeah.
So, I just feel like for me, therapy has helped me in a number of different ways to be more open, not with my therapist, but even just with myself,
Yeah.
be vulnerable with myself, be honest with myself, because it starts with self. And then when you create those practices with self, you're able to, again, put those practices into your other
Right.
relationships,
Right.
familial,
Right.
all those other types of things.
Yeah.
Right.
So true. That's so true. And I started therapy just for my cancer. Like I was very angry and like why, and I'm just raging out. And then it just opened the door to all these other things. So I didn't go into it saying, oh, I need therapy for my whole entire life and all these things. But once I opened that door, I realized that I needed it for everything, and it kind of changed my life. So that's one thing that, I will always, put a focus on too. Our mental health status is very important. Like if we're not okay, things are not going to be okay.
Right.
We're not going to
You
function
know,
properly.
I think it's also knowing it's okay to not be okay.
Yes.
I think that there's this stigma about the strong, right? They think that we never get tired, because a lot of us don't look like what we've been through. Like, how
Yeah.
are you still smiling? How are you still, this upbeat? Because the strong do get tired.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things that I learned in therapy. They give you a lot of keys to navigate your stress, navigate
Tools.
your,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes, those
You get those
tools. And I have
tools.
a whole toolbox that my therapist gave me, to help me navigate all of the things that I had to go through in such a short period of time. Like, Mimi, you know what I've gone through.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so
Yes.
it's been,
Yes.
very helpful to have that toolbox and to reach and get those resources when I need them. Kind of like I'm Bob the Builder and I'm the project.
Exactly. And then we talk about how you learn about these skills and things, abilities that you have that you don't even know that you have because you've
Exactly.
become this advocate. You've become this open person. And now you are doing things and saying things that you never even realized that you would do. So it's very
That's true.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very important. So the last thing I just wanted to let people know is that what we do basically at Linkage, like that we're online, you can go to our website and reach out to us, but basically at Linkage, I practice and focus on patient navigation, person-centered planning. I help women kind of get things together. When you're diagnosed, you don't, and you're going to a facility. Like when I first was diagnosed, the facility that I went to didn't have any type of patient navigator, social worker, anything. So that's basically how my journey started with me getting involved in things. But the next place I went, they had one, and I kind of learned from there. So it's very important for me to be that person. Like I can't, I'm not a miracle worker and things like that, but I definitely can strive to find the sources and find the tools, the resources, the access for women that need help. The ones that don't have insurance, or they do have insurance and you kind of don't know how to navigate it. Because when you, like we said earlier, when you get the diagnosis, your brain, it's like you don't really know what to do. It's like, oh, I have to focus on all these things now. I got to call this doctor, I got to call that doctor. So having someone to help you on that journey, I take pride in that,
Right.
like a lot. It was important for me to create this. And so that's what Linkage Wellness Institute is, a place where women can come to get the resources, to get the love, the compassion, the encouragement, the empowerment, all the things that you need to start this journey. Even if you're already on the journey and you're just in need of just some guidance, we have those things. We have wellness planning. I have the My Journey journal that I have that I can send out. It's not something that I charge for. It's just something to help you get started or to continue on with what you're doing in your journey. We have the Linkage Empowerment League, which we now have a physical fitness advisor. We have a natural health advisor. She helps us kind of get our diets together. Our fitness advisor is going to help us get our bodies together physically, because that's something that I need to work on as well with the treatments that I'm in. My legs kind of take a serious beating. So being able to move around and do things is very important to me.
Right.
Also, we still send out the care boxes. People can come to our website and request them. Anyone can come and request them. It's just a little intake form they have to fill out. We'll communicate back and forth, and I'll send them out to them. We have programs like the Linkage Little Blessings program, where we give out gift cards to women that are fighting and surviving breast cancer. For the holidays, we have different holiday programs. And right now, the focus is on our Linkage Wellness workshops. We have our physical fitness workshops, we have our wellness chat workshops, and we also have a blossoming beauty workshop. I'm working on like a creative writing, live virtual karaoke, live painting or artistry exhibit where I'll go and be able to record live art work being done. So I think that's very important too. I want women to come here and be able to see us doing all types of
Right.
things. So I'm working steadily on creating new wellness workshops. And if people that are watching or come across this chat, if you have any ideas about workshops, or if you guys want to be involved in any way, always reach out to us, Linkage Wellness Institute at gmail.com, or you can reach out to any of us on our social media. I'm by Cancer. That's my personal. And of course, all of the Linkage platforms, you can contact me. Juanita, how can they contact you
Um,
on social
my
media?
my Instagram is Mama's here 722.
Okay. Janine.
And then my Instagram is me versus nine.
And it's going to be tagged. I'm going to repost this, so it's going to be up for everybody. I'm going to tag you guys on it so they can reach out to you. And if you guys have any questions at all, there's so much more that we do too, but I don't want to be talking until 11 o'clock tonight. But if you have any questions or anything, feel free to email me at any time or DM me at any time. I'm always available. We also receive text messages, and we can schedule like FaceTimes and things like that. Just give us a text at 301-818-9548, and I will respond within 24 to 48 hours. Like I said, we have different tools and different sources of ways that you can be able to get to us, so we can help you in any way. Okay.
Right.
So you guys have any last words to end out our first wellness chat episode?
So I just wanted to say, so my reasoning for the series, um, because a lot of women, especially a lot of first
Yes.
timers who are going through cancer, they're like, what now? Um, how am I supposed to feel? I know
Yeah.
for me, when I got my first diagnosis, I listened to Rihanna, What Now? And I could not stop listening to it because I kept asking myself, what is next?
Yes.
What happens now? And so the whole idea for this series is to show there is no one size fits all.
Yeah.
It's not a cookie cutter where you could just get the same results for each and every cookie. We're not the same cookie. We are all very different. And so we're going to go through this very differently. You know, there are some women who just cope with stress and they have to keep busy. So they want to start researching. They want to do all these different things,
Yeah.
where there's some who might want to shut down and say,
Exactly.
I'm not dealing with anything.
Exactly.
And that's okay. You
Yeah.
know, it's okay to feel how you feel. There is no right or wrong way to deal with a cancer diagnosis. There is no right or wrong way to feel. And I think that I I tend to tell women, honor how you feel, because
Yeah.
those feelings are so important. You
They're
know,
valid.
be
Yeah.
in the moment, feel how you feel, because it does suck. It's scary, it's challenging, it's all of the above. And I think the ways that we cope, each, like individual way,
Yeah.
that's right for
Yeah.
us. And no one can tell us don't do that.
Yes. Yes.
If someone's in your life and they love you, they will listen to you. They will be there for you. They will encourage you, and just say, feel how you feel and do what you need to do. But I just wanted to kind of get a visual of how I coped, how you
Yeah.
coped, to see how it's so different.
Yeah.
So again, although we're still having like a shared experience, we're still experiencing differently.
Yes.
And I think that that's so important to see, again, those different aspects of how to cope and how to deal with cancer in our own way.
Hmm.
Yes.
I
Absolutely.
agree. I think I
Absolutely.
saw that vision as well,
Yeah.
because my first time, everyone just wanted to, myself being the baby of the family, everyone just wanted to like treat me like a baby.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not what I needed at that moment, to be the baby of the family.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I needed to know that, okay, I have to find a way to navigate through this. I was like Vonti said, I was mad. I was I was emotional,
Yeah.
and then I started, I gave myself the first week to cry and gain 10 pounds, and then I said, okay, now let's put our fighting shoes and gloves on and let's
Yeah.
get this done.
And
Exactly. Exactly.
I love that too, because we all reach that pivotal moment where we're in our feelings, and then something just, there's a switch and you're like, okay, it's fight mode now. The gloves are
Exactly.
on.
Exactly. Exactly. And you never know when that is, when that's going to be, how it's going to be, who's going to be there and how you're going to get through it. Like you said, you never know. This is just, I don't like to say never ending journey. I don't like to say that, but it's a journey, that we're all on together. Like once you are on it, regardless of how, what your diagnosis is,
Hmm.
you have to find a way to cope. You have to. And so I've definitely found a way to cope with linkage. Without linkage, I don't know where I would be. I had to create something that meant something not only to me but to others as well, because my life, when it changed for others. Like my duty is to do whatever I can to service others and support others, and that's going to help me thrive. That's what helps me grow every day. That's what helps me get empowered and to do the things that I want to do by helping others. So this is very important. These conversations are very important. And I thank you guys so, so much. I thank everybody who joined us and who will be joining us in the future.
Hmm.
Linkage Wellness Institute, we are dedicated to the advancement of women's health and wellness, overall. Reach out to us at any time and see us here next Friday.
Yes.
Right, guys?
Yes, we will
All
be
right.
here.
Okay, guys, we'll have a beautiful weekend. And thank you so much for tuning in with us. And like I said, contact us if you guys need us for anything.
Okay.
Have a great
All
weekend.
right.
Bye,
Have a good
guys.
one.
see. Everybody left. I don't know. I'm still on here. Okay, let's see what happened. Hi, Bo Harris. Thank you for joining us. Okay, I'm out of here, guys. Thanks for joining us. See you next Friday.